My name is Brian Jenner and I'm the organiser of the We Do God conference, which is a collaboration between the UK Speechwriters Guild and Bournemouth University Media School. We had the idea for this after hearing Tony Blair's speechwriter Phil Collins talk at one of our conferences about how American politicians do God, but British politicians don't do God. We've had a day of sharing about what it means to have a faith and how it impacts on politics and how people work within institutions. And it's been a great way to get an insight into how the different faiths approach communicating with the media.
It's been a wonderful experience coming here to Bournemouth, and it's been a very successful event here. We've had a broad range of views from people of different faiths, of different religions, of different orders, all expressing the need to positively engage with media, with society and politics, with whatever frames of reference that they personally ascribe to, because this is the only way we can influence society in the best manner possible.
I think it's been fascinating. I was delighted when Brian Jenner gave me the opportunity to come and share in this event, and I've been fascinated by the variety of angles that different speakers have taken on the question of communicating God in public life.
It's been a very interesting day. One or two key moments in it from some of the speakers we've had. Like any sit-down meal, it's a little bit variable, but it's been interesting just to see the sheer variety of different approaches being taken to media and new media today. We're speaking about the way in which conventional media have had all sorts of difficulties with religion, partly because it's complex and partly because it's subtle and poetic, and partly because there are some habits of how a story gets put together that make it very difficult to understand religious stories through conventional means.
I was really talking about how difficult it is for religion to get an airing in the media, but actually how worthwhile it is, and we need to persevere. It's difficult because by and large the media goes for bad news and wars and skullduggery, whereas religion is more interested in the good news and people helping each other and working together. So there's a sort of almost a natural dysfunction between the two of them.
I think it's fantastic and also intriguing that in 2011, the age of Twitter, that we're having a conference called We Do God. So the very fact that we're having it is fantastic news. There's been a great diversity in terms of perspective.
What does Twitter, Facebook and the rate of technology mean for human relationships, for how we exist in this world? There are some powerful questions where spiritual and faith communities have got unique perspectives on these issues.
I think the juxtaposition between media and faith and how those two worlds come together is extremely important for our children, for the world in which they grow up in, and our ability, be it as faith communities or be it as media practitioners, to understand and engage with each other. So I think it's hugely important that we're tackling this subject. I'd certainly like to see more media representation here in next year's events, and I sincerely hope there will be more events like this.
The conference itself seems to be very good. The people are putting their points across and actually listening to what others have to say. And I'm hoping that this will be an opportunity perhaps to begin to encourage people to think a little bit more deeply about nature-based spiritualities, of which Druidry is one.
I thought it was a very successful event for two reasons. One, mainly because the standard of the speakers was incredibly high. And it's always a pleasure to attend an event when the speakers are so good. The other thing is that it was about religion, or it was about doing God. And yet today, despite the differences, and there were some differences in approach, nevertheless there was no ill will, there was no abrasion, and people were happy to smooth over any differences and to think in terms of how they might adopt one another's differences in order to expand the appeal of their own.